Well, just a little bit late, huh? Uh, Super Bowl got the best of me. I mean, back to back for the Chiefs. Kind of a big deal if you're a fan. I'm a fan. Anyways, this isn't about football. This is about manga. I read a lot this week, surprisingly enough. So I'm going to get started because it's going to be long and I'm going to try and keep it short, but I mean, we know how it's going to end up. All right. Big Indigo backlog with with December pre-orders because they refused to send me them. So we got Die Dark 6, Q Hayashida, Zaha Sanko, and his bones that will grant wishes. There's not really much else to say. If you liked Doro Hedoro, you're going to love Die Dark. The same absurdist humor, the same ridiculous ideas, the same like 1 in a million, 1 in a billion story ideas that only Hayashida could really come up with and deliver on. The art remains amazing. I love the color pages and the chapter covers. Let me see if I can actually find the one chapter cover that I'm interested in really quick. Nope, not this one. Anyways, the art remains incredible. Like they're just... Q Hayashida is in a world of their own, and they always have been. But yeah, here's the chapter cover I wanted to share. I love Hayashida's character designs, even if they're a little samey. Like, you can definitely see Doro Hedoro in her designs, but I mean, at the same time, you perfectly understand that they are their own separate entities. They have their own personalities and feel to each and all of them. But yeah, also Misatani is on the spine, which I thought was fun. I don't think she's appeared on there yet. But yeah, no, great volume, great story progression. It's still about as vague as you can make a story, which Hayashida is obviously a fan of. So yeah, I don't know. I also love the little crossword puzzles at the end. I haven't completed solving this one, but I'm obviously not solving it in the book, but I'm copying it down, trying to figure it out. It's fun. So yeah. Alright, here we go with Shy, the unpressed title. I got quite a few of those this week. Anyways, I really like Miki's character art. I think their designs are really, really fun, and I think they do a lot of good work with like special effects, I guess if you call that in the manga. Like their environments aren't anything particularly special or enthralling, but the effects included are. And I think probably the most interesting thing with this volume is, how would I say it? Kind of, it's not so much that the story is not struggling anymore, but it feels like it's found much more solid footing. It is not kind of pulling things out of a hat to give the reader so that they can move from A to B. We have a solid direction, we have history, we have a real reason for what's going on in this volume, and I think that's really interesting. And similarly, I think the world continues to grow at a very comfortable pace. So obviously, as you can tell, there is a new girl on the cover, and she is kind of not another half, but another example of Shy, I might say. And I mean, the character plays a big role in the volume, and I think it's a really interesting role to include that kind of demystifies the idea of heroes in the world. And in a way, I kind of like that because the whole idea is making heroes human here. And I appreciate that. So I'm really curious to see how they end up working this in, because it's not quite hero, it's hero adjacent with the new character. So I'm interested. I think this is probably the best volume. Yeah, the best volume so far. I think the first volume was good. I think the second volume was pretty alright, but then third and fourth, they do good, but they're really divorced from the rest of the material. So I really enjoyed 5. I'm looking forward to 6. So we'll leave it at that before I keep going in circles. Okay, hanako-kun 19. I mean, it's out at Euro. It's the hanako-kun. The art remains phenomenal. The characters are always fun. I can't get enough of it. This is one way to put it. There's really not much here that I don't appreciate, I should say. I think they do a great job on delivering on number 6 in this volume. I think there's a lot of great work in that regard as they kind of what would be the word? So number 6 is very different from the rest of the 7 mysteries. Well, maybe not different. He's very different from numbers 1 through 5. Him and 7 are very, very unique because of their past circumstances that led them to where they are. And I think they express that really, really well. And it kind of sets the stage for what is required of number 7 and what will happen with Nene and hanako-kun himself in that sense. So it kind of preps the reader for the darker, the more challenging, the more difficult mysteries and other aspects of the story. I mean, I feel like they did a really good job with that from, which number was she? The Painter Girl in earlier volumes. She kind of starts that gradient into more and more disturbing and personally challenging Yorishiro's. The seals for all of the mysteries. Anyways, the point being is, Adairo is, they struck gold with this series from Volume 1. They've continued to mine it into Volume 19. You can really feel that they are prepping readers for a climax, for that turning point in the series. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm enjoying it. And I think everyone else should be as well, really. So, yeah. Alright, keeping the ball rolling. You know what? I'm switching. I'm picking up another Yen Press volume because we're going to keep the ball rolling now that we're there. Touring After the Apocalypse, Volume 4. This author, kind of insane. I wouldn't recommend looking up his history unless you really want to. But, yeah. They are a person. This work is good. The others, I wouldn't say so much. Anyways, here, let's take a look at the color page, because I like these. I like the colors that they use here. I think they're nice. Anyways, slice of life, kind of iyashike, like a feel-good story. Very sci-fi-y. I mean, there's aliens that appear in this volume. There's robots again. There's like the time travel dreams, things like that. It's very, very interesting. And while it does kind of prioritize that feel-good feeling, it really works hard to not mix in, but kind of assimilate those feelings with the story. So, like, the whole idea of bringing an alien in is to kind of, well, at least from my perspective, is to make you consider the idea of what else aliens can do and how that relates to our lead characters here and where they've come so far on their journey. It's things like that. Like, so as much as it's a cute little thing that they make a joke about in the series, it really does still pertain to the story and its development. And I think it's a really challenging thing to kind of mix light and fun moments into something that you're trying to build as a more concrete experience. So yeah, I think it's good. I think it's fun. Probably one of my favorite things that remains about this is just how they view nature in this day and age. Like Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko. I love how they explore a post-apocalyptic setting. Post-apocalyptic setting. I'm stumbling over my words all over the place. But anyways, the post-apocalyptic... Yeah. Oh, you know what? We're keeping it in because I like to make a fool of myself, apparently. The whole idea is that it's a post-apocalyptic setting that doesn't take a mental toll on the characters. It is just another day in their life. It is not something that causes them suffering or grief. And I feel like that's something that I really love to see with these sort of things, because we're almost always synonymizing post-apocalyptic settings with kind of a massive amount of loss, of grief, sorrow, and whatnot. So seeing that kind of environment divorced from its traditional reading is very fun and refreshing, and allows the author, Saito, to be very creative with the work. So yeah, if you like kind of light and easy reads and fun stuff, you'll probably like this. Okay, what next? We got 3 more. You know what? We'll go with the light novel. This is the first one that I've read from Yen Press's JY imprint, which you can see there. It is online, The Devil's Unbeatable Game. The reason I actually picked this up is because it's Otsuka. He is the illustrator for ReZero. I mean, if you look at the cover, I'm pretty sure you can tell that right away. Anyways, This is Yen Press's junior novel imprint. Well, not novel, but their junior imprint that has works that are directed towards younger audiences. I mean, a lot of people think of that and say, oh, it's probably not that good. I think it's actually a pretty decent read for what it is. If you're aware that it is targeted at younger audiences, it is a good read, and it does a lot to really engage younger readers. It's set in high school. The characters come off more mature. They come off very witty and energetic and very confident in themselves. And it's basically a series that is trying to kind of excite kids about high school, about becoming a teenager, about being independent, about not being able to rely on adults and being able to handle yourself in situations like these. And I think one of the most commendable things here is that it kind of has a bit of a horror side to it. Not very much because it's a light novel, so it's not super descriptive, but there's some moments that are pretty despairing. Maybe not, like, they're not quite gruesome, but there's some moments that you'd think, oh, that might be a little much for some kids. But I think that's the most commendable part about it, is that they're not limiting what younger audiences are allowed to experience. It's not ridiculously gory or violent or something that's going to traumatize them or anything like that. But it's something that I think a lot of them will want to experience as a more like mature read for their age. And I can really appreciate that. I think it's really, really cool to see that in light novels of all things. So yeah, I don't think this is probably a read that a lot of people like 16 and over would probably read. But I mean, if you like Otsuka, it's got his illustrations. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah, let's do this one next. Glitch Volume 2. Shima Shinya, they're kind of a horror author. I think Glitch is definitely like the kind of horror that like the kind of in Shima Shinya's introduction there is very interesting because it's kind of like a vague sense of discomfort. Like things just aren't quite right, and you've kind of become desensitized to that, and so it's kind of like you're experiencing two worlds at once. One's okay, the other is not, but where one starts and the other or one ends and the other begins, sorry. You don't really quite know. And I find that very, very interesting. But more than that, what I love in this volume is the chats with parents. So there's 3 sets of like families / kids. The 2 main characters with a single mother. The one girl, which is actually on this cover. So this girl here has a single mother. This girl is a single father. This girl? Maybe girl. I'm sorry. I have to triple check. I don't want to misgender. This person, we'll say. This person on the right, I guess, has a single father. And we kind of examine their home lives. Not in like a scrutinizing way, but in a very endearing and embracing way. So for example, this single mother brought home a girlfriend a while ago. Well, not brought home, but has had a girlfriend for a while now. And it's kind of, what would be like, not thrown a wrench, but it has created a bit of an awkward strain on the mother's relationship with her daughter. And they express and experience that really, really tenderly, where it is not like sexist, racist. It's none of that. It's not bigoted, but it is like a kid having to surrender their mother to someone else for the first time in a long time. Similarly, the other girl here, her grandmother actually takes her out for a walk, and they talk a whole bunch about like awareness in communities, about being the other, and code switching and things like that. And it's the grandmother kind of filling in the role of her, like the daughter's mother, because she's gone missing. I find it really, really endearing because it shows a great intersection in terms of culture and acceptance. And the point of it being in a smaller town really drives home the feeling in it, that there's kind of a concern, that there's a worry, that there's love within that family. It's really, really endearing and really, really wonderful. And it's a great compliment to the series as a whole. I mean, Glitch has probably been one of my favorite new reads in the last while, unironically. Like, I'd put it up with The Summer Hikaru Died, right there. Right there. But yeah, I say pick it up, so pick it up. Anyways, let's keep the ball rolling. My camera battery light is flashing, so we're going to try and move through it quick. Phantom Tales of the Night. This volume was $1 more than the other volume. $1.50. It cost more than the other volumes, and it's because of the fancy gold here. Let's see if I can focus. That gold that kind of flashes and reflects in the light. Phantom Tales of the Night is a 12-volume psychological horror series. It's very, very interesting. It's all about secrets. And I think the point that Matsuri makes with this final volume is that secrets are what makes someone or something human. The idea that you feel insecure or unsafe to share something, so you hide it away, you kind of squirrel it away in a corner and hope that nobody will find out. But if that's all that you do, that's not human behavior. You are just denying yourself existence in this reality. And so to become human, you have to share your secret with someone. You have to trust another person, another existence, with a part of yourself. And that's kind of, that exchange is what Matsuri kind of defines as being human. And they express that really, really well within this final volume. It's kind of a slow burn response / answer that they give through these 12 volumes. But it's something that you start to pick up on more and more. And it kind of completes itself here, where characters bear their truest selves in a time of crisis to move past their challenges and basically survive. And I think it's really, really wonderful in that sense. I mean, the art's still amazing. The colors are great. Let me see what else I can find in here. But either way, it's a really great volume. There's great horror feelings to it still. I just wish that we could fix margins on manga so that you don't have spreads that kind of get eaten up in the spine. But that's regardless. I think if you like psychological horror and something that isn't quite like meant to be explicitly grotesque and elicit a physical reaction from you, Phantom Tales of the Night is going to be worth it. It's really fun. Fun as a horror. But it's good. It's good. Okay. Cruising along, we got Call of the Night 14. It's Call of the Night. I love Kotoyama. I love their designs, their work. I can't really say anything else about it. It's wonderful. I really love the idea of Ko being forced to come back to reality because we've only known him as the Nightcrawler pseudo-vampire in the story. We've never known him as the honor student, the son of a single mother, those kind of things. So it's interesting to see how we see one-sided change in his character. We don't know his past, but we know his present, and so we see how that present interacts to form a future with his mother. So like how they interact after he gets caught out at night, or like how he starts to interact with some of the girls at his high school. High school? Middle school? I can't remember which. I always get the grades mixed up as well. Anyways, at school, we'll say that. It's very, very interesting in that regard, and it kind of brings it full circle. If you listen to the story from the song Call the Night or Yofukashi no Uta that Creepy Nuts made, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But there's a bit of a circle to the story about being out at night, being taught all these things, becoming more mature, growing as a person. It's kind of like, how would I explain it? Like the night is where you learn, but the day is where you live, almost. It's a weird thing to explain, but I feel like you can really feel that in this volume. I think that's really interesting. I think it's really good. It makes me wish that there was more of Kotoyama's vampire action, but there's not any in here, I should say. But I can almost guarantee there's going to be some in the next volume, and so I'm looking forward to it. Not much longer to wait. Okay, here we go. We got another light novel, Raven of the Inner Palace. I love the illustrations for this. I mean, just look at how beautiful that is. I just wish we had those illustrations in the actual book. As of late, we've been getting kind of like information assistance. So like we'll get like layouts of the land of Sho. Map of Sho. This is the world map that I just showed you. Next up is the map of Sho as an island. And then we have the palace layout there and a few other things up here. But anyways, I really, really love the supernatural aspect to this and how it is used to exemplify and symbolize the struggles of the characters. So it's not that the supernatural aspect is adjacent or in addition to the characters. It is another facet of them. It is another piece that it coexists with them as characters. And I really enjoy that part. I really love how Jusetsu, or Shoshui, if you prefer the traditional Chinese reading for her name, which is technically proper. But anyways, I really love how Jusetsu grows and develops in this volume. She kind of started on that slippery slope at the end point of the second volume, and in the third she struggled with that idea, but in the fourth she's come to embody the ideas that she originally refuted, that she denied because she was shackled as the Raven Consort. But more and more she begins to realize that she too is a person. She doesn't deserve to suffer because of her past, because of her current circumstances, and that she has the power to change things and she has the power to help those around her. The issue is that having people around her creates different problems that she's not aware of, problems that she's not always ready for. And so it's kind of a volume of her struggling to understand the weight that she carries on her shoulders now. And I find that really engaging and interesting. And I mean, it works perfectly in conjunction with the ideas that are presented in the supernatural. Having to fight an old god, having to resurrect her other half, things like that. There's a lot of great pieces in that regard that really complement the ideas that Jusetsu has been struggling with lately. So yeah, I think for a Chinese period drama, this is probably like the gold standard of where to start in the English sphere. The Apothecary Diaries is coming out in May, and I'll 100% be picking that up and talking about it, but until then, this is kind of like crown your king, because there's nothing much better than this. So yeah. Okay, here we go. Last volume. Don't Call It Mystery. Volumes 5 and 6. I mean, this is just Tamara greatness. I mean, if you know the name, you know the quality, right? Like, there's a reason it's probably one of the top. Actually, I think it is the best-selling josei that is being published currently. That is, like, actively new chapters are being released. But anyways, the whole idea is it's kind of like Undead Girl Murder Farce, where the answer to the mystery is known before you start the mystery. You know who it is, you know who's done it. It is more a question of how and why. And I find that incredibly interesting because Tamara is such an incredible writer. They have so just absolutely impeccable grasp on how to lead the reader, on how to connect the dots, on how to find ways to express things that you can't normally. I think it's really, really just incredible. They find so many unique stories to tell, so many different angles to approach from, that it's impossible to not say, just go read this book. Like there's so much in here that I want to talk about that I can make my own 25-30 minute video on it, and I still probably wouldn't cover everything. It's incredible. I love Totino, I love Garo, I love all the recurring characters, I love the new ones. There's just too much to love here. Too much to enjoy, too much to appreciate, and too much to read, because it's 2 volumes. So, yeah, look at how thick that is. It's a chunky boy. But no. I really hope that people will keep picking this series up, because I really love it. Tamara deserves the attention in the English market finally. And if you do, we might get other classics of hers, like not recently, a long time ago, published Chicago, her 2-volume short story. There's like, who knows how many others, like probably 3, maybe. I think 3. I think there's only 3 other series that Tamara has published in English. But I mean, hey, if Don't Call It Mystery goes really well, we could get 7 seeds from 7 Seas. But yeah, no, read it, and read it again. That's all I can really say. But yeah, that's all I had for this week. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 volumes, 11 if you count this as 2. It's a lot of great reads. It's a lot of catch up because Indigo has been super late sending me my stuff. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff I think people should also check out. I think if you were to pick 3 things from this list to check out that you probably haven't, I would say Don't Call It Mystery, I would say Glitch, and I would say Raven of the Inner Palace. Those would be like the 3 that, above all else, I think you should read. And with that, I'm going to take my leave, head out before I can continue rambling, and I'll be back next week.